So hey friends, welcome to this week's video. This week we're going back into comments, just kind of getting through the rest of the comments that I wasn't able to get in my last video. If you haven't seen that one, check the link above. It just kind of goes over a lot of different headphones and other things. This one will be a little bit more regimented because there are areas where there's just a lot more concentration of comments, and so I'm kind of like categorizing this between, let's see, what do we got here? We have the Tozo Products, the Soundpeats Products, there's a ton on the Moondrop Space Travels, and then just the miscellaneous to close it off. So just some new stuff that came through over the past couple weeks. So this will just be a comments video. Again, if you guys have questions about any of the products, I do go back to them. We'll probably do these comments videos a little bit more often, like once a month, just to like round things off and make sure I can be a little bit more personable rather than just some text to you guys. And then, you know, some of these will also result in shorts, so keep out an eye for those things. And I'll let you know when I will be doing that, and I'll also link them in the cards above for your convenience. So let's get started. So we're going to be talking about a bunch of Tozo products. I've done the T10s, I've done the T6s. People have a lot of thoughts about stuff. So let's see. First comment from Miss Hunk Control 1874, I think. I just got the Ergo version, not bad. Amazon has a $6 off coupon. Sounds good, no ANC, but still a good sound. I commented back to you saying that, yeah, like, I think that the Ergo version's great. They stay in your ears, even with inverts sometimes. So they're just a great fit for people who like to run and be a little bit more active. And it sounds relatively good for this price range. Again, ANC is a bummer. I do think that all headphones should have some form of ANC just to help with that blocking out. But, you know, we can't get everything that we want. So yeah, that's the only really big gripe with those. So if you guys need something super cheap, something that like pretty menial, it's actually really good for a what do you call it, white elephant gift. So check out the Tozo T6s. This guy was talking about the T10s. This is from the 𝐷𝐿𝐒 2102. I've got 3 pairs. I love them. I switch them out depending on the color and outfit. One, I didn't even know the T10s came in a bunch of different colors. But I'm glad those worked out for you. Did they work out for me? No. The case is gigantic, and I had connectivity issues. So again, maybe it's just some QC issues. Maybe I just didn't have a great unit. Who knows? But those ones I just can't get on board with, just from the fact that it's gigantic and the battery's like meh. So to me, I think you should rather do the T6s, and they also come in a bunch of colors. So if you want to like upgrade your life, instead of having that big thing in your pocket, you can get something much smaller. So T6 is still. Okay, so the next one's from Pro Gamer 𝐼𝐾9QW. Long name, long complicated name. But it says that you kind of look like that kid Flash from the new Spider-Man movies. And I comment back at you, like, I don't know how I feel about that, because he doesn't really do anything in the movies except be annoying. But I'll put it side by side. You can tell me if he's right. I don't agree, but whatever. These ones are on the T6s. Rito Offish say, thanks for the review. I might grab some of the Moondrop Space Travels. Those are something that I would say that you should, because they're very similarly priced, except the Space Travels kind of go a little bit further in terms of comfort, a little bit further in terms of functionality, because it does have ANC and transparency, and it's a little bit more neutrally tuned. You know, if you like that V shape on your headphones, then definitely like the T6s are a good option. But if you want something a little bit more neutral that works a little bit nicer and there's not like too much embellishment one way or the other, I think that the Moondrops are a superior option there. But, you know, we'll get more into that later in the review. Citizen K9222. Is there a difference between quality of the Tozo T6 Classic and the Tozo T6 Ergonomic Edition? Anyway, no, at least from a sound perspective and build perspective, not really. It's really come down to the fit. And if I put them right next to each other, I have no idea what makes it ergonomic. There's not really a different shape. There's not really a different material, but for some reason, they're more comfortable. But yeah, in terms of sound, they're the exact same driver. They sound the same. They look the same. There's not really a big difference. And I believe they're the same price. So I would say just go with the ergonomic version, because for me, it was more comfortable, but you know, you really can't go wrong. They're pretty decent at this price range. I want to read this one. I did not even notice this come through my comments because it was hidden. But I was like, oh, I might as well look at everything. So should have waved. Said I'll give cock meat sandwich for a pair of Tozo buds, which is a lot. Like, you're willing to, for like $20 earbuds, that's like, it's pretty cheap, bud. But is this piece of equipment worthy of gracing a smile upon the first listen? I need something dust-proof because Sound Blast isn't far. No, the T10s at least are not worth it. If you need something a little bit more sealed worthy, I would say you probably want to go with something with like a better quality build and reliability. While these do have a solid like water IPX rating, IPX8 I believe, which is pretty solid, the sound kind of is meh, the functionality is meh, and the case is gigantic. Because I don't like, even if you are getting sandblast, whatever, earbuds work out, the case will not hold up and that will break on you. So, you know, use that cock meat some other way. Look at a different headphone. But I understand your need for IPX8 or something similar to that. There are other options out there that just may not be as cheap. But you definitely could get better sound than what you're spending on the T10s. On that note, I think we're done with Tozo for a little bit. Yeah, I'm just going to end the Tozo section with that comment. So now we're moving on to Soundpeats. We did a bunch of different videos with Soundpeats, and I'm still collaborating with them, so we're still going to get more headphones, but you guys had a bunch of questions. For you, Caramello was talking about the Air 3 HS Deluxe earbuds, you know, the hamburger sounding earbuds I was talking about. I have the same problem, and I'm pretty sure the issue that I had was around sound, and you can't EQ it because the app just doesn't connect. I can't really help you, unfortunately. Like, I haven't been able to get a update on those. I haven't been able to push anything firmware. I haven't been able to revert into older versions of the applications. I can't do anything. It just can't connect, and as a result, I can't access the EQ that will allow me to tune these. So, in general, the Air 3 HS Deluxes are kind of crap headphones, and I would not suggest you get them. There are a bunch of different options. Sound Engine Force, or just, you might as well just get those. But just that form factor in general without the silicone tips, I would not recommend for anybody. We've come a long way since AirPods. We should probably get something that fits in your ear a little bit better. So with all the budget options out there, there's a ton of different headphones that should lead you to avoid these HS whatever from Soundpeats. Adrian Kurt, what size nozzle are the Engine 4s? I have some ear tips from my IEM collection. I wonder if they would also fit. I don't have them anymore. I gave them off as a gift. However, a lot of my other ear tips fit. So like my Comply foam tips fit, my Spin Fits silicone tips fit. So I think whatever you're using should fit them relatively well. They're not like super skinny where like standard fit ear tips won't work. So like unless you have like a fatty nozzle, like diameter on your ear tips, I think they'll work with most anything. So yeah, or if you don't have like one of those really flat ones that don't have a lot of give, those ones probably would be an issue. But I think most things that are like normal shaped will fit the Engine 4s without any issue. On the Engine 4, I did a walk-in to kind of get some distance in my apartment, and it was raining, so I did it inside my apartment. Where I would normally go to, like the field and run, figure out the yardage, all that sort of stuff. But, I'm not going to do it in rain all the time. So I apologize for that one. But yeah, I guess I had a walking animation. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I have I don't even know if it's a good one. I don't even know if I have a good walking animation. I hope it's cool, like the JJK stuff. But the next comment is from IHSon9T3, and it's about the Engine 4s, just like we were on the previous one. He says, hi, it's been over a year. Do you still have them? Are they working the same as they were the first time? Have you faced any issues with them? I've already ordered them on AliExpress with a discount price. I'm afraid of the bad reviews about the quality of them on some sites. I haven't had a sound issue from my perspective or a build quality issue. So like, of the Soundpeats I've had, these ones are probably the most tanky of them all. Like the case can be dropped, the earbuds themselves are a little bit more solid, and the sound is relatively good. They're not too over bloated. There are some characteristics and genres that are not as good as others, but overall I think it was good. The dual driver is really nice, and yeah, I don't think you should be worried about them. Have I had them for a year? No. The review came out like 4 months ago or something like that, so half a year. Do I still have them? No. I gave them to my friend whose earbuds broke, so he's still using them. It's sort of his daily driver right now, so he doesn't have to pay for new headphones, and they're working really well for him. I haven't heard any complaints from him, and I see him relatively often. He's still wearing them, so they seem to be working fine. Again, you can tank them a little bit, but you know, if you're trying to chuck these around, there are things that are a little bit better for water resistance. There are things that are a little bit more ruggedized, but if you take care of them, you shouldn't really have any issues. So yeah, they're not frail. Another Engine 4 comment, Anthony Blitzkrieg Lanuza 4397. Nice review. Was concerned about the fit since I plan on wearing this to the gym, but your workout bit cleared my doubts. I would recommend this for music for like Nirvana and Red Hot Chili Peppers. So yes, I try to bring these working out because I do know that's like a very common thing for headsets. So usually I go to the field because, you know, I'm not really bothering anyone. Occasionally I can get in the gym if I can be sneaky, but generally I don't like bothering people, and I don't want them to be like self-conscious about stuff. So I do try to be a little bit more discreet there and be respectful of people's space. But, you know, when I can bring onto the field, it's like free holds bar because no one's really around me. But I do like doing that. In terms of the music, I think you can, but it's weird because from Nirvana's and Red Hot Chili Peppers, it's like song by song where one sounds good and one sounds bad. So it's not the most consistent thing, and obviously you can EQ this with their app, which is pretty solid, but you might need to play around with it. I do have some samples that I recorded before I gave it to my friend, so I will have a separate short on that. I will actually use the Red Hot Chili Pepper and Nirvana music so you can see the difference. That one will just get copyright strike. I just don't want this video to get copyright strike, so I hope you understand, but I will put the link up here when it's done, so stay tuned. So next ones are the 𝐵𝐿2s. These ones actually keep around all the time because sometimes, you know, earbuds are a little bit annoying. Get ear fatigue, or on the headband, I don't want to get a freaking indent on my head all the time, but sometimes, you know, that isolation is nice. But I always keep these around because they're always comfortable. I've never had connectivity issues, and I never have fatigue issues because they're super comfortable and lightweight. So just a note here on these. I do still have these around. I'm probably not going to give them to anybody unless my friends are in like dire straits and actually need something like this. So he just got them. Or Sarizona. They just got these 2 weeks ago. Most comfortable earbuds you've had. They feel so good and pretty decent sound. Not like in-ear, but they replace the Galaxy Buds most of the times. And as I was saying is that like you're not going to get the isolation and some of the punch of like in-ears or even over-ears because there's just not enough seal to really get that thump. However, you still get respectable stuff, and it's not going to freaking blast your ears because you have that airspace, you have some openness, so you do get some nice characteristics out of the headphones that you may not normally get in a closed back set of headphones or a closed back set of earbuds. So that's something to keep in mind that, you know, it does bring a little bit of different vibe, especially if your music is more mid and high toned. You'll get some sparkle out of it that you may not normally get because the bass is overloading your ears. So definitely one of my favorite headphones that I've reviewed over the past year. So this one's asking from Long Nguyen, the 4375. Thank you. If you could, next time, please add some of the reviews when you're wearing glasses. I'll do that really quickly right now, but I will shoot a separate short for you so you guys get a little bit close up, but I can do it. I'll even do it with 2 different types. So we'll do it with a Tortoise shell. Man, I need to clean these. I haven't used these in a while. So because the weights are in the back, they don't actually like really mess with the ear glass or the eyeglass too much. So I can still adjust these and it's fine. They stay on. They actually stay super secure because of the band there, but they're not going to interfere. So you can still use them. They look fine. I have some blockage in this, so I can't see it. Yeah. Pretty sleek, right? And they stay in. I think I can even pull them off. Yep. See? And then do acetates. They can even go over if you want to do that way. The acetates are a little bit more comfortable. But yeah, they don't really cause any issue. They can be worn with them. So don't worry about them. If you're really interested in these, definitely pick these up. These are, again, one of my favorites that I picked up last year. And I've had no complaints from any of my friends when they've tested this out. It's also really easy to test these out because you don't have to worry about germs as much. So good consideration there. All right, so now that we've ended the Soundpeats part, now we can get on to the space travels, which is one of my most viewed videos on my channel and something that's been really popular over the last year just because they are cheap, they are good, and they just are super respectable from a sound perspective. Like, not just feature loaded, but also sound very solid, which would be expected from Moondrop, but also not expected because they're only like anywhere from 20 to 25 bucks. But I do love them. They're somewhere here. They're right here. These are another pair that I always have around. Like, I do have more expensive ones like the Denon Pearl Pros, but I end up always having these ones around because in the event that something dies, these ones will always be comfortable. So yeah, I do have a little set of my rotation that's always on me in every backpack and all that stuff. Moondrops are one of those. So let's start with the first one. This was a month ago from Arndo M. Noob. Only issue I have with these buds is there's no IP rating. It's not even going to attempt to work out with them on at all. Which I would say, unless you sweat like waterfalls, you're going to be fine with that. Both me and Samika use these headphones all the time. My cousin uses it to breakdance in. The secure fit is just ridiculous. Like, I can do inverted, I can do... I can do ring exercises. I can do inclines. I can do back extensions. I can do cable ab crunches, all that sort of stuff where normal, like all my nice headphones all fall out. All my testing headphones all fall out. These never fall out. It's just wild. So like the fit is just amazing. And again, I sweat a lot, especially when I'm inside or in the sun. I just sweat a lot anyway. But I've never had any issues of this glitching, breaking down, all that sort of stuff. Obviously, if these get stuck in the rain, I wouldn't trust it. But for like sweat, I think there's not that much issue. I've gotten these plenty wet. I've even like dropped these in after like a morning dew or a little bit of sprinkle and nothing's really happened to them. So I think as long as it's not direct and consistent in terms of the rain, you'll be fine using these for a workout. If you're working out for 8 hours and you're just like, maybe that's a problem. But I don't think you should have a problem even with that as long as it's not raining. The Ripper HS. Just bought a pair as well. Arrives in a couple days. I'm switching from my Sony WFC 500Gs. And someone else, Lemmy3852, asked them for their review. Let's see what he said. They are decent. Audio quality is about the same as the Sony, maybe a bit better, which I would agree with because of the more neutral, less bloated sound. So far, casual listening, they sound great. Volume is a bit on the low end for normal volume, so I keep them at 70-80% because 50% is too quiet. I would agree with that as well. Depending on your phone, and if your phone suppresses sound, you can, opt to remove that limiter and then get a louder sound. Some phones don't have that, and they're just quiet on them, so it's really gonna, be phone to phone what you are doing, what your settings are available to you, if you can make those louder. For me, I agree with him. I'm usually at 70%, especially if I'm in commuting. It's probably like 80%, just so that with the ANC, I can't hear anything. Do I need to go that loud? Not really. Like if I'm just doing a workout and there's no other music interfering, I can be at like 60, 70. But if I'm, really trying to block out traffic noise or like the gym music, I'm going to be at like 80%. Transparency and ANC modes work, but nothing crazy. With ANC, it reduces surrounding noise by like 40 or 50%. I would agree. Again, these are $20 headphones. Some $20 headphones don't even have ANC. These ones do a solid job on them, especially if you're playing music, but they're not going to be like a Sony and Bose where you can just like have no music, just have like white air being blasted into your ear and not really hear anything around you. They're not that top tier sort of ANC, and I wouldn't expect that from Moondrop, first of all, but also just a $25 headphone. For example, if you walk near a road, you will barely hear the cars. So if you also listen to something on top of that, you won't hear anything. But when I use the train, I can hear it even with music and ANC on. Yeah. So for louder things, trains specifically, because you know, the rails are right there. For airplanes, you get some of that white noise, but I didn't really have any issues with them. I could use them in a pinch. Like again, like if my main headphones die, I always have these on me and they work well. I used them through my friend's wedding at Puerto Rico to do the initial test, and they worked fine. I was able to sleep. I was able to pass out like normal. No big issues with noise leakage one way or the other. The mic is as bad as it gets, unfortunately. Multiple people told me they can barely hear, blah, 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 blah. This is something that I would say it's going to depend. And this might just be a QC issue with their mics, but I was actually having pretty solid microphone conversations with these. So I think you can see the sample on my review, which I'll link above. But overall, like, my clients had no issues with them. They're one of the better headphones that they've heard. Like, it's better than the Sony's, because apparently every Sony headphone that I have has the worst mics. So they were night and day happy with me using that even when I was mobile. Usually I use this thing, so they got kind of spoiled with this, but this is a good alternative. I have to, you know, get some groceries, or I want to go for a walk or something while I'm having a meeting. They love those. Also tried sleeping with them, but couldn't. They hurt my ears. These are not the flattest ear tips in terms of the size. Like, they definitely protrude inside. They're comfortable when you're in your ear, and again, they don't really move at all, but they're big. So like, they're not gonna be like the AirPods where they kind of just fit flat on you. So, and they do have a protruding piece where the controls exist. So that's just something to keep in mind if you are someone that listens to them. I generally don't recommend that because it's not the greatest for your sleeping situation, but I understand that some people are really sensitive in terms of like external noises. So this is a godsend for them to have the proper ANC and proper fit for earbuds. At one point I keep them on for 8 hours and they never bothered me. Almost forgot they had them on. Yes, they're super lightweight. They fit in really nicely, and I haven't really had fit issues, especially because the silicone that they use is actually relatively nice and not really irritating. Battery lasts about 4 to 5 hours without ANC, 3 to 4 with ANC. That is following the projected. It's a little bit low, especially with ANC on the metrics. Like, generally you want to get 6 out of that. But for some reason, I was using ANC when I was flying with this in Puerto Rico, and I got through the whole flight, no issue, and we had like a little bit of a layover. So it's like, I'm not sure. Like, I'm not sure what you're supposed to be getting, but I'm kind of blasting past the limits, even with ANC on. So I can't speak to that, but again, there might be some different QC issues between the mics and batteries and all that sort of stuff where things aren't as consistent as what the measures are. For this person, they don't really use it all that much, 2-3 hours a day. So, you know, they don't have to charge it all the time. They can just charge it like once per week, twice per week, something like that. But I agree with that entire assessment that you put on. That's basically what I put in the review. And yeah, they're solid. They're super solid. They're not perfect, but they're super solid at the price range. How's the audio quality, consistency when you're using space travels on a Windows computer? I haven't really had any issues. Deus Ex Machina X. I've used this for my work laptop. I've used this on my computer that's recording this video. I've used it on a Mac. Have I used it on Linux? No, I don't think I've used it on anything else like that. But never had any really big issues. I didn't see any big falters in the sound quality. Things still worked with the microphones. Touch controls, depending on your computer, is going to be different, but I could still get play pause with my work laptop just fine. So yeah, I don't really have any big issues in terms of quality and consistency of connection. Yeah, I think it's just going to depend on, well, especially if you're Bluetooth connected, just how strong your computer's is. For my computer, it's one of the newer ones that my work. So the Bluetooth connectivity is really, really solid. If you have a really crappy or old computer that doesn't have a good Bluetooth receiver, you may have some differing issues. But so far, no issues with laptops. I'm Kai99. Really good review. Would you recommend them as of September 2024? Or are there better alternatives within the price range? For me, I don't review everything, but a lot of the companies that come to me are within that like $50 and under range. And these ones, again, are coming in at like $20 to $25. I have been hard pressed to find ones that meet all these guys' need or things that they excel at. Like I've put these against Liberty 4 NCs and those still lost out. Like again, those ones have a little bit more capability in terms of noise canceling, a little more capability and EQ that these don't have. However, these ones sound better. They have all right battery. They are more comfortable, and the mics were actually better as well. So like $25 versus like $100, it's kind of a no-brainer for me. Other things I've tried are like the Tozo T6, T10s. I've tried a bunch of Soundpeats ones, tried a bunch of Soundcore things. Still, these ones sound better than a lot of those that are 100 under. So I would definitely have you guys test these. Like just buy them on Amazon, try them out for like 30 days, return them if you don't like them. There's really no risk. It's $20. Like September 2024, December 2024. Right now, I can't see them at least until a new set of stuff comes out of these being beat. 2024, these are the best 25 and under headphone that I can find. 𝐓𝐇𝐎𝐒. They're asking for Anker, Soundcore, P30i, R50i, and C, or the Moondrop Space Travel. Moondrop Space Travel. As you saw in that video, the Soundcore Soundcore Liberty NC's versus the Space Travel, it ended up winning in more categories. Again, it's not perfect. It doesn't have the best ANC. It doesn't have the best battery in comparison to that headphone, but price, sound, reliability, touch controls, like all that inside that microphone, all that. It's just amazing that it can punch up in class. Like technically the Liberty 4 NC should outclass this headphone. It is not from the same sort of like company that makes all these like fancy things. Like Moondrop was mostly known for IEMs. They're not known for true wireless, although they are now because of these things. Everyone got Moondrops because of wired IEMs. The functionality you're getting out of those at $25 is just insane, and the fact that they can punch up to like $100 is awesome, and you should embrace that. Stop looking at these other things from Soundcore. I like Anker and Soundcore. I like the sound that they have through them for their price range, but these ones surpass it. Now, if you're trying to get to like 150 or something like that, then you're going to start seeing headphones consistently beat these on a lot of different things. But like 99 under, hard pressed. Clock Cycle. Appreciate the review. Appreciate you. Sync Work. You should also review the 𝐇𝐎𝐿 True Wireless. I've heard some people mention this brand. I've never seen them. I've not been approached by them, but they seem like a brand that would be budgetable enough where I could pick it up on my own without needing to break the bank. So I'll see if I can find a good pair. I'll have to do some reading on the brand. I don't know if these are the best ones that would compare to these, but I'll do some reading and see which ones make sense. Freezer Fridge 7486 is asking, is the noise canceling good? Yeah, relatively. I will say that we talked about this earlier, but like as long as you have music on, if you're doing a commute, if you're in an airplane, you probably won't hear much. However, if you're on a train or something like a loud gym music or something, some of that will leak through. But for $20, $25, you're not really going to find much better ANC, and sometimes you'll just see that functionality missing. The fact that this has ANC and transparency at this price range, I am impressed, because a lot of the companies that I've tried just simply don't have it. And some of the ones that they do have it, it's a little bit weak or a little bit annoying. Like you hear the noise that they're trying to push through the microphones and the headphones to make it work, and it's just not pleasant. Really interferes with the music. This one doesn't interfere with the music. Still sounds great. Still sounds neutral. Love it. All right. Water break. We just went through those three major categories. We have some miscellaneous stuff that came and popped up in the last few weeks, so I want to make sure I get to that, but still, water break. Feel free to join. Paul Curry 4059 is asking about the Wildhorn Altas, and man, do I hate these things. He talks about how much he hates these things. I also hate these things. These were expensive. These were $100 for all right controls, pretty bad build quality, USB micro charging, which charged relatively slow, and then the sound was really tinny. So they suck, and I returned them immediately. And then I found the Outdoor Masters OM1s or BT1s, whatever they're called, at $35, just like this guy did. They sound better. They have a little bit boomier bass. Controls are a little bit more spongy. They're definitely fatter than the Altas, but they are better. They still have crappy charging standards, though. They have micro USB cord, which I always forget. And sometimes I just like, take it from the alarm clock in the Airbnb or something like that. But I end up scrounging to find it, or like spend way too much money at a 7-Eleven for some jank charger. But yeah, outdated standards even at $35. But the best thing about that is if you really want tunes, that's probably your best bet, because they're only $35 and they often go for like 2 for 1. So you're really getting them for like $15-16, which again, I'm not gonna complain. I get my tunes. I still have awareness without having an earbud in. I can crash and they'll be fine, and they work. However, there might be some other options out there. I do know that Outdoor Tech has Chips 2.0. Those are USB-C, not directly through the earbuds, but like through the cases USB-C, which is appreciated. But they're $250, and I don't feel like paying that much money for helmet audio. But some people might. And I have a trip coming up in February, as I mentioned to Paul, and maybe I'll do it. I'm definitely going to return it because I don't need $250 pucks that are probably not going to sound like $250. But maybe we'll try them. Let's see. I can always return them, right? But yeah, it's just audio on the mountain unless you're using your headphones is pretty rough. But I do suggest using these over headphones because, you don't want to be one of those dickheads that don't know what's going on around him. Oh, see, there's so many of these comments. This one is another Moondrop, and I forgot about it. I just picked up a black pair for $21 on Amazon based on your review, and thanks. $21. Like they go for under $25 a lot. You can get them under 20 sometimes, depending on whatever is running on Amazon. So keep your eyes out. You can get these for pretty cheap. Super full-featured headphones that won't break the bank, and you won't cry about the price. The next comment is about the Corsair Virtuoso RGB wireless XTs. And it is these guys. These chonky guys. He said, the worst headphones I've ever bought, to be honest. And after using these for a while, I will have to not agree necessarily. They're not the worst headphones. I've tried some pretty bad headphones. But in terms of how much this was, I don't find myself using them as much as I would want to. I initially bought these in COVID because I was like, I don't want to always have this. I want to be able to walk around. I want to have some flexibility. And this microphone's dope. Build quality is dope, but they're huge. I actually had to get different ear cups of these brainwaves. Are these brainwaves? No, they're wicked cushions. To make them more comfortable. And they are significantly more comfortable, but they also distend from my head like crazy. So these are big guys. And then, we come back to this microphone, which I love, but the thing is it picks up freaking everything. So I end up using this more because I can type and I can have my speakers playing and nothing comes through this microphone. Because out here, you're barely hearing that, right? But with this one, all my typing strokes, all my keystrokes, any click is picked up by this. So it's a really good microphone for the bass and how it represents your voice. You sound dope, but it also makes everything else sound super aware. So it just doesn't really work for my client needs because everything can be heard. I do like that. It has a muting function. It is super functional. The connectivity for me was great outside of the dongle. But yeah, I just don't find myself using these, and I've been like debating whether I want to sell these or not, just because I really don't use them. But then I do use them for one day, and I'm like, oh, these are kind of nice. But then overall in the year, I maybe use them 2 or 3 nights. So with how much I spent, I'm likely gonna Poshmark these. Still debating, but if you see these on my Poshmark, now you know why. What is it? Level 8 Voyager. How do you feel about the handle being too big for normal trolley sleeves? And I see what you guys are talking about. In fact, let me get them. All right, so you guys are in luck because I am packing. for Seattle, so I can see my parents and all that sort of stuff. So again, I still use this guy all the time. And he is my go-to carry-on. Or no, sorry, no. My go-to check-in bag because he's so chonky. And he fits everything. And he keeps me under the limits. Super happy about him. But some people are like, oh, this wide handle. Yeah, this wide handle, great for maneuverability, great for stability, great for packing inside because you don't have that middle column. But people are like, I like to use the trolley sleeve. So let me show you something. For duffel bags or my work bag, I don't really need the trolley sleeve because it's flat. It's flat. It doesn't move from there. And this thing is so wide, it's not going to fall out of it. And it's so wide that I'm just going to roll it flat. I'm not going to be pulling out its sides. So duffel bags, you know, it's perfectly fine. Where you get in trouble is if you want to use like a backpack. Too tall, right? All that sort of stuff. Like the trolley sleeve, it's too fat for it. Especially for females, like some of their purses have it built in and all that sort of stuff. Trolley sleeves are important for people. However, we found a sort of solution with that. Especially because this is something that was a problem with 𝐓𝐷𝐾𝐒 because some of her luxury bags don't have that trolley sleeve. So I got this cincha belt. Which for her is the regular size one, but they also make a wide handle one now because they know that that's a trend that's popping up in luggage. So essentially how this works is blam. It stretches on the handle. And you clip it in. Really easy to carry around, not too heavy, easy to stow away, but it keeps everything locked. And this is an empty bag. If it's full, it's going to be way easier. But yeah, that's my solution. You just saw that I have that tag on it. Do I use it often? No, because this thing guy's flat. And generally, if I have my backpack with me, it's my laptop, and I like to have that on me. But any other instance, I kind of go without it because, again, it's flat. Very, very stable. Love this guy. So his next comment is about the suit fitting that we did at State and Liberty for my boy Baldine's wedding. And that one was just really fun because it was all of the guys getting our suits done and we were getting drunk and then doing stuff. So that's why you see us doing all this these dance moves and all this whatever. But yeah, like if you guys want to know about State and Liberty, it's a great brand, especially if you're more widely built, whether that means fat or athletic. They just stretch. They also just fit and make you look a little bit more jacked. But I particularly like them because they are kind of stain resistant, they're wrinkle resistant, they stretch really well, and they just feel really nice on body. I'm not swimming in anything, and I'm also not sweating as bad. If you guys have any questions about State and Liberty, I have a long history with them, from their suits to their jackets to their pants to their shirts, which are my favorite. Their shirts are my favorite thing. So if you have any questions about that, or you want me to do a review on that stuff, I have a ton of their stuff. And, you know, yeah, I have my thoughts on where your money's best spent with that brand. But we use them for the suiting. It all turned out pretty well. But yeah, we were drunk. And Archer 9664 was like, pause. I'd have to just be like, it's okay, bro. Unpause. Masan Koane 4938. You've been missing in action, man. Let's start the new year with the B&W PI8s with sound samples, please. Boy. You use expensive-ass headphones. I will try. I am in the market for new over-ears because I am going to be taking a trip to Japan. So I'll probably be testing out a few different pairs that people have suggested. But you picked up an expensive one. So I used to have the PI7s, ironically, and I did like them until I started trying everything else. So like I'm kind of going into these a little bit skeptical because Bowers and Wilkins aren't known for like the greatest sounds, especially after I like listen to more headphones. But they're also just the comfort has been an issue because they're heavy. Like they're built really nicely, leather, metal, all that sort of stuff. But like head fatigue was an issue with those boys, and like the square ear cups was an issue for those boys. Like it's sexy but not comfortable. It's sexy but not comfortable. So like again, hopefully they've made some improvements with the PI8s. I will try them later. I just don't want to spend all that money on it, but I will try to get to it because I will be testing out over ears anyway. So just be a little bit patient. I'll get there in the new year. These ones are on the True Free open air headphones. These ones Samika helped me out with, just to try them out, different workout scenarios, taking them to work, all that sort of stuff. And 𝐇𝐎𝐿 says, nice review. Thanks, man. Thank you for watching. I do appreciate when you guys shout me out and get some value out of the videos that I shoot. I have a lot of fun making them. Glad that you guys watch too. This is back on Baldi's suit fitting. Anime bull boy. My dude's signature move is the throwback. Yes, because he likes to throw back shots. So he's very flexible because he can do that better than all of us. We cannot drink him. We cannot outdrink him. We all end up failing. We all try. We end up failing. We try again, fail. Doesn't matter there's 10 of us. Doesn't matter there's 20 of us. We all fail. How his wife survives, I have no idea. But yeah. That's kind of his signature move. It's his power up. So that's all the comments. We've gone through everything. I will start racking these up for the next video. It probably will take me like a month or two to get enough where I can actually take one of these long videos again. But I appreciate you guys commenting. Definitely ask questions. I love answering you guys' questions. I like shooting shorts around them. It helps me keep pumping out content. So don't be shy. Ask away about stuff that you want to buy, about stuff that you have questions about, comparisons, sound samples, whatever it might be. I'll do my best to fulfill your requests and get some more ideas for this channel. Again, you guys have been doing wonderfully in terms of engaging, subscribing, liking, commenting, doing all the things you normally do on a video that you like and love. And companies have been loving that because they've been wanting to collaborate with me. They send me products. It's just a lot easier in my wallet, and we get to try out both new stuff that we've never seen before and stuff that people have been wanting. So it's just a great coalescing of things that everybody wants. So I'm happy that this channel has been growing the way it has been. I appreciate you guys keeping it alive while I've been sort of on a hiatus. But again, new year is coming around. Things are slowing down at work. So I'm definitely going to be pumping these out. I'm trying to get one a week. Plus all the shorts, which end up usually being like 6 to 10 shorts. So you guys will be seeing that soon. To tell you what's coming up next, again, I keep talking about that PS Portal. It's coming. But just other stuff keeps coming up. So like, let me show you. Like these ones just came in the mail from 𝐷𝐈𝐿e. I still don't know how to say their name. It is 𝐷𝐈𝐿e, but they have an ST2 Pro that they were originally going to send me. But you know, product releases, all that sort of stuff, things get funny. But they sent me the MS1 Galaxies, which are great. And they also sent me the adapter, which I love, which I just keep in my bag all the time so I can use them as a DAC and amp for my in-ear monitors. Because I always have in-ear monitors with me, like wired ones. They're good for my games. They're good for my editing. They're just a little bit more accurate and reliable because they won't die on me. So I always have those, but I always keep their DAC with me just because it sounds great, and it also adds a little bit to the volume, which no one can complain about. However, this one kind of solves that because now you got an in-ear monitor with the built-in USB-C connector, which also performs as an amp. So super excited to test these out. These will probably be the next review, so that's likely gonna come out early next week, and then we'll probably get to the PSP. That's kind of gonna be like how that goes into middle of December. And then where we go from that, I have no idea because we'll be in Seattle. So I'll figure out what I'm gonna bring with me, whether it be shoes or a bag. Have a few different things that came in the mail that we'll have to figure out what you want. But if you guys have ideas of what you want to see in terms of like, what do we have around? Garment bags that are duffel bags. Amamanye or Agassi shoes, Japanese clothing. I don't know. There's a bunch of stuff. But if you guys have ideas, if you would would you rather have tech or clothes or bags, let me know in the comments, and I can kind of try to tailor towards. But next two ones are definitely going to be these ST2 Pros and the PS Portal. So stay tuned for that. Anyway, thank you guys so much for sticking around this video. I know it's a little bit longer because I've been talking through your comments, but I do appreciate you guys engaging, and I hope to see you soon. Hopefully nothing else happens to my health. But I will definitely see you guys soon. As always, I appreciate you.